Are you an investigative professional? Did you know you can find the best private investigator resources using investigatorstoolbox.com? This resource community was built exclusively for licensed investigators and investigative professionals. You can network directly with members, educate yourself through free webinars and blogs, and even create your own customizable research library. Membership starts for as little as 49 cents a day. Download the Investigators Toolbox app or visit our webpage at www.investigators-toolbox.com.
Is a good case management system keeping you from taking your business to the next level? Crosstracks is the premier case management system for the investigative community. They're the only SOC 2 certified case management software available. Visit crosstracks.com, tell them you're a listener, and save even more. Get a plan in place for the new year to grow your business to the next level. Registration is open for the first annual Security and Licensed Investigator Conference in Augusta, Georgia. Gain skill and knowledge from top-tier speakers. You'll learn from the industry's leading professionals in security and investigation on the following topics: practical aspect of death investigation, perimeter and facility security, organized crime investigations for private investigators, negligent security investigations, crimes against disabled adults and the elderly, CADE, CADE, active shooter mitigation training, how to engage your federal law enforcement partners, investigating officer-involved shootings, and ethics for private investigators. Learn more by visiting CGA-Solutions.com. That's CGA-Solutions.com. See the link in the show notes. Welcome to PI Perspectives. Today we welcome back Georgia PI Alex Chilton from CGA Solutions. Alex has spent the last year creating the first annual S.L.I.C conference for investigators and security professionals, SLIC. Let's join the guys and find out about this great event on March 16th and 17th. Stick around to the end to win a chance to attend the conference for free. Please welcome Alex Chilton and your host, private investigator Matt Spaier.
And welcome everybody to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spaier, your host. Today we have a return from a prior guest. I asked Alex Chilton to come back on the program because he's got a very exciting event happening this month. Actually, when this episode airs, it'll be actually happening the following week. So, Alex, I want to invite you back to the program. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks a lot for the invite.
Yeah, no problem. So we spoke not quite a year ago, but definitely a few months ago. What have you been up to since then?
Just trying to get the conference off the ground, planning, getting everybody ready for this, and just trying to make it all happen.
Right. I know the last time we talked, the memory I have is meat fork. I remember somebody got stabbed with a meat fork.
Yes.
That story.
That was one of the old cop memories. Yes.
Yeah, that story kind of sticks with you.
Yep.
So you're CGA Solutions out of Georgia, and you were awarded recently. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. So we got awarded the Georgia Business Journal, which is one of the older publications in Georgia. We were awarded as their private investigation firm of the year.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
So how many investigators are there in Georgia? Do you know?
Man, there's more than I can count. I mean, it seems like there are thousands of them here, but I may be exaggerating. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I try not to keep up with competition. I try to keep my mind on what I'm doing and focus on what we do as a firm, and stay in our lane and mind our own business.
Oh yeah, sure. And you have a great firm. Last time you were on, we were talking about expanding your business and, when is a good time to expand your business. And you definitely gave a lot of good suggestions and content. I would say if anyone's in that position right now where they're trying to figure out whether or not they should grow their business or take that next step, go back and check out that episode. There's a lot of good nuggets on there.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So the SLIC conference, S.L.I.C, that has been your passion. I know when you first started putting it together, you reached out to me, and I'll be there. I'm excited to be there. It's going to be in Augusta, Georgia on March 16th and March 17th. So tell me a little bit about what the vision was for that and how it came about.
So without making anybody angry, right? I've traveled all over the country in the last 22 years, taking training from different places. And one of the things I found was that in a lot of areas of the country, a lot of the same presenters get recycled. And I just, and in speaking with different people at these conferences, there always seems to be a need for better, right? What's the enemy of good but better, right? So there always seems to be this need for better. So my goal with this was to bring better training, or to bring another level of training, or maybe we start a different attitude towards training and bring in people that normally would not be in the mix for private investigators.
Right.
And for us, it's also a localized thing because, in Georgia, well, where we're positioned in Georgia, we're really close to South Carolina. And, we're only 4 hours from Tennessee, and, we're, and most of our training will typically occur in Atlanta. And what I found out was attending some of the bigger conferences, for Georgia, is that most of the guys south of me, west of me, or north of me into South Carolina, couldn't get to Atlanta, or just felt like it was too far to go. So I kind of wanted to grow a regional conference that could pull in those people who may have felt left out from time to time because training was so centrically based around Atlanta or even Columbia, because I think we're an hour and a half from Columbia. So that was my whole goal with this, was just to try to
we struggle. Yeah, we struggle in New York with that because New York is such a big state. And our folks, our investigators that are upstate, they feel like they're stepchildren sometimes. They're like, man, you guys do everything downstate. And, we try and put things upstate every now and then. At least once a year, we're up in Albany. I'd like to see us go a little more west. And maybe that'll happen in the next couple of years, who knows, but I can appreciate that. Right. And I think that is kind of creative to move it to a different venue, trying to make it localized, where everybody can get a little piece out of it. And your state there, you have continuing education, and you've got those credits that are attached to the course, right?
Yes, sir. We've actually been approved by SLIC to receive up to 10 credit hours. And because I'm a licensed instructor, I can present a conference like this, and also offer Georgia investigators and security personnel or security professionals 10 hours of credit in Georgia as well.
Oh, that's great. That education, it's so important. And even from a networking standpoint, I mean, there's so many of these conferences these days are virtual. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of done with it. I'm done participating. I'm done sponsoring. Like I want to go to Augusta. I want to go have some barbecue, some Georgia barbecue for crying out loud.
And that's a great point you bring up, Matthew, because listen, it's great that you can sit in front of a computer screen and, read a dialogue and, press A for the correct answer, or, whatever you're going to do. Right. But nothing is like getting out and networking and listening to a speaker and being able to interact with that speaker. And that's one of the things we really wanted to bring back to our training, because for so long, there came this digital push, right? But that only goes so far, at least in my mind. I'm a very kinesthetic person. I like to, touch it, feel it, smell it, and interact with it, right? That's what I like to do. And I know there are a lot more people out there that feel the same way. Right. And always sitting in front of a computer screen to learn is not always the best learning model. Right. And I think it kind of degrades what continuing education is supposed to be as well. And again, not trying to upset anybody's apple cart, but that's just my opinion, right? That, if you can't get out and interact with the professional that's teaching the course and get real answers from questions that you've asked, I think there's an element that's missing at that point. And that's something that you don't miss if you're there in person.
Yeah. And what it really comes down to is it's more than just the class. It's the whole experience. I mean, well, let's give a great example. You and I met at the South Carolina event last year, about a year ago, about 10 months ago, actually. And, Kelly Riddle had introduced me to you. Hey, this is Alex. This is, my buddy. You gotta meet him, right? So, there was that initial, right? And then there's the dinners, the meals, the sitting down and really chatting and getting to know one another and understanding like, hey, this is a good resource. This is, somebody that I now knows that they know what they're talking about, right? So when you did have that assignment that you needed done up in New York, I got a phone call from you. We handled work for you. You and I have actually done business together already. And that stemmed from me going live in person. You don't get those things in a webinar. You don't get that in a virtual conference. And I'm not trying to knock anybody that's doing virtual conferences. I participate in them. I sponsor them. I do all that, like I'm there. But even having the breakout rooms and all that, it's just not the same. It just isn't.
No, it isn't. And you're right, because when you get to a conference like we're trying to have and you can network, it helps you build credibility with other people in the industry, because people can truly weigh you at that point, and find whether or not you're somebody they want to do business with, or if you are somebody, or if they are somebody you want to do business with. So, I mean, it's a unique experience to build on what you said. It is about the experience as much as it's about the education.
Yeah, it really all goes hand in hand. I mean, you can't really have one without the other. We were all forced to do it for 2 years, the last 2 years,
Right.
and it took us a year to figure it out. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to hosting this. This is our first conference ever. I put together a lot of people that I know are professional, that I know can teach the topics and can help you and can help answer questions about these topics. These aren't just people who threw PowerPoints together and have said, hey, oh, sure, I can do that for you, and can stand up there and just recite a PowerPoint. I mean, these are folks who have lived it, who have done it, who have worked it, and can help you with real life experience.
Yeah, and I think you made an important point before when you were chatting. These folks aren't doing their teaching and then they're out the door, right? They're actually going to be there. They're going to be hanging out, and you will be able to have that question and answer thing, even if it's not during the class per se. You have those opportunities later on going, oh wow, I just thought of this thing. What's your opinion about that, or should I do this? Is that okay? If you're sitting down with them or you're holding a drink during cocktail hour or whatever, they're going to answer your question. They're there already, right? You don't get that when someone shuts off the computer screen or they hit end on the Zoom conference, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's exciting stuff. I mean, it's almost like you have the opportunity to really, get your money's worth, and you'll be a part of it. So we're going to take a quick break here. And then when we come back, I want to jump into the lineup, and everybody should sit tight, because we're actually going to be giving away a ticket to attend this event for free to one of our listeners. So if you're in the area, I would say stick around to the end, and we'll give you the info. And it's pretty simple. And we'll get to it. There's no answer this question or none of that. It's real easy. So everybody sit tight, and we will be right back.
Don't let asset investigations become a hassle for you. Let the professionals at JT Palmer & Associates, Inc. get you the information you need. We are a team of research specialists dedicated to providing you the intelligence that you're unable to locate through public databases. We have national and international resources available to provide accurate results to assist you in your asset investigations, and in a timely manner. We work tirelessly to uncover exactly what collectible assets someone has. Whether you're investigating a business or an individual, our dedicated research team employs a range of techniques to bring the investigation to a conclusion. All information developed over the course of these searches is obtained in an ethical, legal, honest, professional manner. When you need asset investigations done right, turn to JT Palmer & Associates. You can contact our team by visiting our website at jtpalmerassociates.com or call 800-808-0078.
Check out the PI Institute of Education at piinstitute.com. Since 1989, Kelly Riddle has been teaching on subjects such as surveillance, nursing home investigations, insurance fraud, domestic investigations, hidden assets, and accident scene investigations. The PI Institute of Education is a featured learning partner in the investigatorstoolbox.com. So check out the free content on the site, then visit the Institute for more great savings on additional classes. Want full data access without a site inspection? IRB Search gives you full Social Security numbers, dates of birth, up-to-date contact info, and so much more, without the inconvenience or cost of an inspection. As an added bonus, you can access IRB data on any device in any location. You'll always have the best data anytime, anywhere. Visit irbsearch.com and use exclusive promo code PIPOD2021 for a free trial and 100 credits. Offer available for new and returning customers. Check out the latest issue of PI Magazine, available online or via hard copy. Visit pimagazine.com to learn more.
And welcome back to PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spaier, your host. Today we are joined by Alex Chilton from Georgia. Alex, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, we're talking the SLIC conference. What does SLIC stand for?
It is the Security and Licensed Investigator Conference.
Fantastic.
S.L.I.C.
Awesome.
After the office started nicknaming it SLIC when I wrote the acronym up on the board one day so we could have a staff meeting about the conference. Yeah. Everybody was asking SLIC, and I had to Security and Licensed Investigator Conference. So
I'm just waiting for the hat or T-shirt, man. We can go from there.
I promise I'll get it to you.
So this is taking place on March 16th and March 17th in Augusta, Georgia. Augusta is an amazing place with amazing history, right? So
yes,
people play golf or something around there, right?
It's always the home of the golf. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The golf. Let me tell you.
It's just Augusta. That's all it's known as, Augusta.
Augusta.
Yeah, that's the terminology. So, like I said, a storied area of Georgia, and just a great venue to have all these things. So let's talk about speaker lineup. Who do you have for this thing?
Well, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through everybody, if you're okay with that. So we got Brian Osden coming. Brian Osden is the special agent in charge of the FBI field office here in Augusta. Brian is an amazing guy. I've known him for a number of years. I've actually investigated cases against him. That's what resulted in our friendship, actually. He told me at one time, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have learned a few things about investigations that you go through. So so we kind of developed a really a good relationship after that fact. Brian's going to be talking to us primarily about how and when private investigators should actually engage the FBI, what you'll need to do, what you'll need to bring to the table to get them interested in the case. And more, I'm finding, and I say more and more, probably in the last 5 to 10 years, I've seen instances where we probably should have made referrals, but honestly, just were unsure how to do it. And, and we've had to tell clients, to go through their attorneys to make the referral, when in fact, we could have done it for them. So Brian's going to come in and kind of clear up some of that for us. We've got Richard Dixon. Richard is also a personal friend of mine. Back when I was a baby cop, Richard helped me grow up in the streets and, took a liking to me. And now Richard is actually director of training at the Regional Police Academy. He is going to be teaching us or giving us the ethics portion, which is required by Georgia, that you have to have ethics throughout the year to keep your CEUs current. We got Kenny Booz. Kenny is the chief deputy coroner. Him and Mark Bowen is the coroner himself, are going to be attending the conference, and they're going to put on a presentation for death investigation. That's going to be a great presentation. It's actually 2 hours long. That presentation is going to occur on day one, March 16th. It's one of our 2 breakout sessions, and it's going to be about the practical aspects of death investigation. If you come for it, nothing else, come for that
Sure.
that particular class. It is a really good class. We've got Heather Strickland coming. Heather Strickland is a assistant special agent. I'm sorry, ASAC. I know it's something special agent. I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact acronym. But Heather specializes in crimes against the elderly and the vulnerable. Many times private investigators get called to investigate nursing home or nursing home events or things that have occurred to relatives in nursing homes. She specializes in that for the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. She will be able to put on a spectacular seminar. She's going to be great to hear from.
Right.
Doug Parker is some of y'all may know Doug already. Doug's a retired GBI agent, started his own private investigation business, and now has a company called Thin Blue Defend. Doug is a speaker and a sponsor. Doug actually has developed an app that's getting ready to launch nationwide to help police officers in the event of a critical incident or use of force incident. And I don't know the specific details behind the app, but from what I understand, it will help a police officer to be able to catalog all the necessary information immediately after a use of force or critical incident. So it'll give them a leg up on what they need to be able to present to show that whatever force they use was justified. Mm-hmm. In that same vein, Doug's also going to be speaking on how to do officer-involved shooting investigations. As a GBI agent, Doug did several of those over the years, and he is absolutely great at that. Natalie Payne, I'm going to tell you, she is great. She's an ADA over in the Columbia County Circuit now. She used to be the DA in the Augusta Circuit. Natalie is a great adversary. Back when I did a lot of criminal defense work, she was, let's say her and I didn't often end up on the same side of things. Right. And very fierce prosecutor. She's going to be teaching us about organized crime and how to investigate that and then present to a district attorney. What elements do we really need to bring or to present an organized crime matter, to a district attorney if we find organized crime as a private investigator during the course of one of our investigations. Garen Mueller. Okay, Garen's a great litigator, probably one of the best in this area. Garen is going to be teaching us about negligent security investigations. So all you security people out there, pay attention, okay? This is the best way to learn how not to be negligent, is to learn from the guy who might sue you. Right. Garen is a great litigator. He does a lot of these negligent security cases, and he's gotten them down to a science. So he's going to be a great speaker for us, both on the investigation side as well as the security side. Again, talking to the security people out there, Scott Peeples, he's the Chief Deputy Marshal. I've known Scott since I was a child. We went to high school together, did ROTC together. I mean, we've got a good background with each other, worked on the Sheriff's Department. And what I'm going to tell you is that Scott is a former a violent crimes investigator. In fact, I think he was in charge of the Violent Crimes Division for a while. Scott is going to be talking primarily about facility security and harden the target. The Marshal Service here in Richmond County, which is where the conference is being held, is actually in charge of all the facility security for the government buildings here. And that also includes the airports as well. So Scott has a good depth of knowledge about hardening the target, facility security, and that kind of information that can be passed on, to security professionals that hopefully are coming to the conference. Lieutenant Jamie Moss, Columbia County Sheriff's Office, another stand-up guy. He's going to be teaching us about active shooter mitigation. Jamie's been teaching that class for a while now. He's a great resource for our office at the Sheriff's Office. He's in charge of the administration division, which also covers the records division, which, as you know, as a private investigator, being able to get your hands on legitimate police records from time to time means something to your case.
Sure.
And it's really valuable, in directing us on where we need to go and what we need to do and what kind of requests we need to make. So he's going to be great on active shooter. Then finally, Don Kittleson. Don's one of our investigators. Don is a very in Homeland Security, and not in the organization itself, but just the background in Homeland Security because of a previous position. Don will actually be giving us our Homeland Security update, which is also required by the state of Georgia, to make the conference more legitimate, that you've got your ethics by Richard and then your Homeland Security update by Don. And that really covers everybody and their topics. I think we've got a great lineup. I would almost bet that no one listening to this has ever seen any of these people speak before. Yeah. I think you're going to find the information valuable. I really do.
Right. That's great. All right. So let's give away an entrance to the event here. How do folks qualify for this?
All right, so let's do this. The first person to email me, Alex at chiltongibbs.com, CHILTON Gibbs, GIBBS.com, and tell me that you saw this on this podcast, and I will give you a code for a free ticket. Okay. And here's what else we'll do too. Anybody else that saw this and wants to come to the conference, if you send me an email telling me that you saw me and Matthew, then I will send you a 20% discount code. Okay, so y'all hit me up on the email. Come on down and see us. I think you're going to have a great time and you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, and I'll be there. So if you want to meet me, it's the booby prize.
Come on down and meet us.
The booby prize is you got to come say hello to man. Alex, this was great. I'm excited for you, man. And what a lot of hard work and dedication, just real passion. You just got to acknowledge that, man. So
thank you.
Thank you for doing this for the industry and understanding, realizing that there's more out there. And there's more content, there's more qualified speakers out there. There are different ways to get the credits that you need. And I give you kudos, man, for taking a chance and going out and putting this program together. If you're in that area and you're listening to this program, come hang out. What are the costs for the conference with the discount?
With the discount, I'm not. It's 20% off the 125.
Right. We're doing fuzzy math today.
Please don't ask me the math right now.
Yeah.
But we'll do 20% off the 125 conference price is what we'll do.
Awesome. That is great, man. So thank you again for coming back on and just giving us a few minutes here with it. Like I said, it's going to be March 16th and March 17th. And, like I said, I'll be there. I'd love to meet you. Come say hello, check out the booth, check out Investigator's Toolbox. And thanks, Alex. And we'll catch you again. And I guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So,
hey, man, looking forward to a great happy hour. Yeah,
definitely. All right, everybody. All right. Have a good week, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks to Alex for telling us all about this great event. Remember, the first person to email him at alex@chiltongibbs.com wins a free entry to the conference. That's alex@chiltongibbs.com, free entry into the conference. We also want to thank Crosstracks, JT Palmer, IRB, PI Institute for Education, and CGA for sponsoring this show. Please support our great supporters. Now, have you checked out the investigatorstoolbox.com yet? Now's the time to do so. Get on board and join the fastest growing digital community for investigative professionals. Use code PIP 2018-36 to save 10% on membership. If you have a question or a comment about the show, email Matt at matthews@satellitepi.com. And you can also find him on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We'd like your feedback to bring you the best shows possible in the future. And we'll be back next week with a new show. So make sure you tune in and stay safe out there.